Good afternoon, everybody. It's 12:30 on a Friday, and after all of these short weeks, it's now a really good time to get into finding out about what's going on in the jobs and employment marketplace in Australia. Hi there. My name is Mark Smith. I'm Group Managing Director of People2People in Australia and the UK and Frog Recruitment in New Zealand, and this is P2P Live. We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn and YouTube. So if you have any comments today or questions about today's broadcast, pop them in there. We can see them live and we can answer them for you straight away. Packed broadcast today. We've got our stat of the week. This week, the Internet Vacancy Index was released by Job Skills Australia, so we'll take a look at that. We've got two jobs to talk to you about, particularly one a systems accounting role based here in Queensland, where I'm actually broadcasting from today. We've got an opportunity in the UK and one in New Zealand if you're looking to go on a working holiday or you plan to go home. And of course, we've got our Twitter polls. Last but not least, we'll be chatting, and this is specifically for hiring managers, we'll be chatting to Leanne Lazarus from our Queensland office about what are job seekers really looking for. So if you're going into the market looking for talent, what should you be actually bringing to the market? So we'll be chatting to her about that as well. So lots to talk about. Let's jump into this week's Stat of the Week. Okay, so as we finish all of these holidays, the Job Skills Australia released the Internet Vacancy Index this week. And to give you an idea of, because a lot of people don't actually know what the Internet Vacancy Index is, what it is a compilation, a monthly data series measuring online job advertisements compiled by Job Skills, but it includes Seek, Career One and Workforce Australia online job boards. And they do this each month. Now, these job advertisements are coded to a fine level of detail by JSA, and it includes occupational groups down to the ANSCO coding level, as well as covering off state and territory and regional geographic data as well. So next week we'll have a look on a state-by-state basis, but this week we're actually looking at the data seasonally adjusted. And what you can see, what's clear about this one, and it's quite interesting because there's a lot of negativity that seems to be starting to bubble into the market about the economy, but it is not transferring through to the Internet Vacancy Index and the jobs market, employment market generally. So online job advertisements or recruitment activity at the national level increased marginally in March. So it's up 0.1%. Now, what that actually means, to cut to the chase, there were 230 extra job advertisements in March than there were over the previous month. There was a total, though, of 282,100 job advertisements. So that's an increase of 0.1% month on month, but it actually is down by 0.7% year on year, or about 2,000 job advertisements. So I think what has I thought was quite interesting here is that the market is resilient, that there are still lots of job advertisements out there. And if you have a look at the correlation between the Internet Vacancy Index and unemployment, then you'll tend to find that there's an inverse relationship, and hence why we're seeing the unemployment rate also remain quite steady. So good news, really, from this week's Internet Vacancy Index, and that's it for this week's Stat of the Week. So here are the hot jobs of the week for People2People in Australia. The first one, and this is a systems accounting role based here in Brisbane, at Archerfield, paying $75 to $80 an hour, where you'll be responsible for managing financial systems and data analytics for the business, performing an analysis, and also to ensure that the business is complying with accounting standards, and developing and implementing systems and procedures to ensure the accuracy and timeliness of financial data. You need to have experience as a systems accountant and with exposure to large ERP systems such as SAP, Oracle, Pronto, or Cognos. So Josephine Ting from the Brisbane office is the person that you need to speak to. That's Josephine at people2people.com.au. If you send her an email, or the number there is on the screen, or simply just hit apply now in the comments, and you can read the advertisement and apply directly for that particular role. Here's the next one. And this one is in Sydney, and it's a senior payroll officer. It's paying $95,000 per annum, and you'll be responsible for the end-to-end weekly and monthly payroll for this particular business, including compliance with modern awards and regulations. And you'll also be processing manual payrolls, as well as the standard pay runs for things such as terminations and the like. So you need to have experience with a large payroll, so circa 1,000 employees to be considered for this particular role. And you need to understand an environment that is regulated by awards or an enterprise agreement. So Calissa New is the person that you need to speak to from our Sydney team. That's Calissa at people2people.com.au, or give her a bell on 02 82709776, or as I said before, hit apply now. And they are the top jobs in Australia this week. Maybe you're going on a working holiday. Maybe you're a working holiday maker returning home, but we've got a job for you here in the UK. So we've actually posted this or talked about this role in P2P Live previously. We still don't have anybody for it. It is a hard to fill role. It's based in London, and it's a senior FF&E designer. Now, if you don't know what FF&E is, then you're probably not right for this job. So you'll be responsible for collaborating with the project team to develop FF&E concepts that align with the overall design vision. And you'll be researching and sourcing materials, finishes, and furnishings for this particular project. So you need to have experience as an FF&E designer for hospitality projects and a strong knowledge of those materials, finishes, and furnishings. Hannah Scanlon is the person you need to speak to in our London team. That's hannah.scanlon at people2people.co.uk. You can drop her an email, you can give her a call on the number on the screen, or simply hit apply now in the comments there. And you'll be able to find out more about that particular vacancy. Now, we also have a role that is across the ditch in New Zealand. So maybe you are a Kiwi looking to return home, or you're still on that working holiday and you think the next part is to go to New Zealand. Here's an opportunity for you across the Tasman.
Everyone, my name is Kaylee from Frog Recruitment, and I work on the logistics and supply chain desk here at Frog. An exciting new role has popped up for a warehouse assistant based in Penrose. The salary ranges between 50 to 60k. This candidate would ideally have some experience in a warehouse environment, and forklift experience is preferred, but it's not essential. If this sounds like you, or if someone you know is looking for a role and you think they would be a good fit, please get in contact with me with the information below. Otherwise, have a great weekend and thank you for watching. Bye!
Now, with the release of the Internet Vacancy Index this week, we saw that it is still a hot market and out there for employers looking to secure talent. So we thought we'd have a chat to Leanne Lazarus from the Queensland team here about what are these job seekers looking for? How can you attract job seekers or talent into your business as a hiring manager? So g'day, Leanne. How's the weather up in Queensland?
It is blue skies, sunshine, little bit colder than normal, but I think for most parts down south it would be classified as warm still.
Yeah, it's probably a chilly 24 or something like that. That's probably where.
I think it's close to that. Yes, you're correct.
So you've got some observations about job seekers and what they're looking for right now.
That I do. I think there's a fairly big disparity between what a lot of hiring managers assume candidates are looking for or are looking for in the market at the moment, and that's largely based on what history has predicted for us, and it's around salary.
Mm,
Don't get me wrong. I think for any candidate at the moment, with everything that's happening in the economy, salaries are still really important, but there's a lot more to it than that.
mm.
So we're seeing a lot more candidates coming through that are looking for career opportunities, so that growth, succession planning, looking for training and development are two of the big key areas that individuals are looking for when they are exploring the future roles for themselves. We're also finding that job security is a big part because they're, especially with the economy and a lot of the talks that are happening out in the marketplace, if there is that opportunity from that security and longevity perspective, that's ticking a lot of boxes for organizations, which ties into that career growth, the training and development side of it as well. Flexibility is still a request that
Mm.
is coming through, but we have seen a bit of a shift in that. Prior to this, it was largely based on that blended work week. So 3 days from the office, 2 days from home. Whereas there's a bit more focus at the moment around flexible work hours. So potentially starting earlier, finishing earlier, and vice versa.
Mhm.
Although there are still a lot of candidates that are looking for that blended work week, which ties into the work-life balance for them as a whole. The interesting thing is there is a big drive at the moment for a lot of candidates that are looking for roles that have a purpose to it. So they want to take on something that is going to be either community focused or adding value back into the economy, to the community. So that's a big driver for a lot of organizations.
But that's
The
almost a
inter-
shift. That's almost a shift back to what pre-COVID that was like number one, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The interesting thing I do really find though in the market is when I am talking to a lot of organizations are they have a lot of perks and they have a lot of benefits. They offer a lot of these initiatives and opportunities for candidates or for new employees coming into the business and in their existing, but they don't really talk about it very much. They don't
Mm.
advertise it. It's if they had to do internal engagement surveys and ask around it, most people wouldn't know what's actually been offered to them, which I think is sad because that's a really good piece to look at from that retention piece, but also from that attraction. If you're selling it as a package and it's not just about the salary, but it's all the other things that you're offering, you'll actually find more attraction, more numbers coming through of quality candidates that will add value into your business as well.
Exactly. I mean, look, there's been so much time and effort put onto, value propositions, but what's missing in a lot of cases is that the people just don't communicate them, do they? I mean, I'm a little
No,
bit biased on this, Leanne, but I think that's one of the reasons why you should use a recruiter, because a recruiter can actually advocate all of those benefits for you on your behalf, and so to make sure that and really make sure that the candidates that are presented understand what they are and match and align them to those candidates. But hey, I'm biased. What can I say?
I'm with you. I'm just as biased.
Excellent, good. So, is there any one piece of advice do you think you'd give to a hiring manager watching this now, saying, "Well, I can't seem to attract the right talent right now"?
I would definitely say focus on your brand as a business because candidates nowadays are doing a lot of homework into organizations and reputation and brand is a big thing. They search for that information on a number of different platforms and areas. So make sure from a brand perspective that's ticking all the boxes. But highlight what as an organization you're able to offer, whether it be in your if you're going to market directly and you're putting in specific benefits. It could be anything from a you get the day off for your birthday through to flexible work arrangements through to on-site parking, whichever those benefits are, add that in to that package deal when you are talking to candidates because the job's important, the salary is important, but those value adds are what will help get them across the line and bring them into the business and keep them in the business.
Yeah, wonderful, fantastic. Some really good tips and some great advice there. Thank you once again, Leanne, for joining P2P Live. Hopefully, we'll see you again soon. Okay, let's move on to the last thing that we need to do this week, and that is to have a look at the results of last week's Twitter poll, where we were asking, with the unemployment rate remaining steady last week, do you think it's easier or harder right now to find or get a job? And 61% said, yes, it is harder. But 38% said, it's pretty easy now. And, we did this exercise also for P2P Live UK which we broadcast at a different time, and we poll our UK audience, and that was about 70% in the UK said it was a little bit harder. So here in Australia, people think that it's with unemployment, it's easier to get a job right now, or easier to get a job in Australia than it is in the UK. Really interesting results. Here's this week's question. So we said that now I'm going to put a caveat here, forced, inverted commas around there. Has your employer forced you back into the office? Really, it's just that getting the incentives, etc., of getting people back in. We want to really explore this a little bit, particularly when we've just discussed the flexibility arrangements. So yes, my employer has forced me full-time back into the office. No, they've introduced hybrid, or no, I work remotely full-time. So jump into our socials here at People2People, and you can vote yourself for this week, and then we'll give you the results. That's both LinkedIn and Twitter, by the way, and then we'll give you the results this time next week. So thanks again for joining us. We'll do it all again 12:30 next Friday. We'll see you then.